How you doing, people? Robert here, AKA Robess, Anti-Corruption Scotland. I'm kind of bamboozled. There's people contacting myself, asking stupid questions, telling myself that they don't understand. Well, if they don't understand by now, there is no hope for them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this wee video and break this down and address the points of issue. Now, people say they can't understand, which I think is a bit, I think they're taking the mickey, to be truthful with you, right? That a person is a corporation. Well, let me break this down. Corporations. What is a corporation? It's a business with a unique business number registered in Dun & Bradstreet. Examples of corporations: the Scottish Parliament, Scottish Government, John Sweeney, Nicola Sturgeon, Ministry of Justice, Westminster Parliament, House of Commons, right? Some examples. These are corporations. There is no men or women called these names. This is how the men and women escape the liability, by using fictitious names and titles. Fictitious titles: Justice Minister, Health Minister, Social Worker, Police Officer, Police Constable, Parole Officer, etc., etc. Fictitious names used to escape liability. Now, why, when I'm explaining this, is this relevant? Because the names that I've just listed and told you on the video is fictitious names. And to be crystal clear, no man or woman representing these fictitious corporations or fictitious names can come forward in their private capacity under full personal liability, even commercial liability, and make a claim against another man or woman. Because everything comes under the law of contract. Corporations cannot make laws. They can make rules, regulations and policies, statutes, legislation, but they are not law. For a law to be broken, there has to be a corpus delicti, a victim, an injured party, a man or woman making a claim against another man or woman that have suffered harm, loss or injury, property damage or fraud within a lawful contract. Now, in Scotland, on the channel and TikTok somewhere, there's a video explaining that people have an entity ID, and that's registered in the Registers of Scotland. What is an entity ID? Definition of entity is an independent existence. That means that's where the person kicks in. A person only exists in paper. So let's see if you can understand that. A person is on the driving licence. A person is on your passport. A cell capital name created by the Crown Corporation and put together to deceive and hold the men and women surety and liable for anything, including debts, all debts, everything: council tax, road tax, VAT, national insurance, everything. Corporations are dictating and pulling the strings. And again, no man or woman representing these private corporations with fictitious titles can come forward in their own private capacity and make a claim, unless there is a contract in place, full terms and conditions have been exposed, full disclosure, right? That's how it works. It's a law of contract. The legal system is a fraud against every man and woman, and I can verify that. Right, now person, let's go to the word person. On the 9th of June, I was at Glasgow Sheriff Court, as people know that watch the channel. I went into court and declared that I was a living man. I was told that I was required to get into the dock, what they call dock, I call a box. I did not go, I did not consent, and I told them I was happy to stand where I was. That caused a problem, right? Because he never get joined her and he never sealed the contract. When I walk in there, when you walk in that dock, you create a joinder and a contract, you consent. And what's happening here, when people register their vehicles, they call vehicle property, their house, their son or daughter, anything you register, anything that you fill in black ink, the all capital name, is where you are given joint and consent. They're still under consent without full disclosure, right? They're deceiving the people. And when the people fill in these forms, they think they're doing the right thing when they're actually doing the wrong thing. But to get where you want to be in their legal system, legal society, you have to fill in if you're going to get benefits or whatever, right? Services. It's all legal fraud. Everything in this system is legal fraud. They have no power, they have no authority if the people would wake up and realise who and what they are. But the biggest majority of people still don't have a clue what they are. Most of them think they're a person. Well, God help them, they need a mental health assessment, right? Because a person only exists in paper. Only men and women have life. If you can feel pain, you can see, you can hear, you can touch, you can go to the toilet and do a shit, you can urinate, you can bleed, you feel, that's as simple as that. It's only a man or a woman people can do this or feel this. A person can't, it has no life, it's dead speak, right? It doesn't exist. The birth certificate, it tells you persons or persons on it, cannot use it for identity as a record of an event. And I keep saying in videos, people, right, for those donkeys out there that still don't get this, if the person or person that has this document can't use it for identification, it's not yours. It's not the man or woman's. It's for the person, for the fiction, the entity. A receipt's given by the Scotland People website. If you apply for a extract, a birth certificate for their website, you'll get a receipt telling you have an entity ID, a big long number. It's the all capital name, right? And again, on the legal birth certificate, my name is Robert, capital R, lowercase. Sproul, capital S, lowercase. The two names are copyrighted. They've stole your identity. Identity theft has occurred through constructed fraud, right? There was no disclosure to your mother and father, right? They've been lied to. So what happens is when the mother and father register the son or daughter, you make them a ward of the state. It's like when you go into the so-called dock in the court, you're treated as a child. You use a lawyer, liar, or whoever Babylon, he or she is dealing with your affairs. You can't deal with your own affairs, so you're incompetent, right? You don't have any standing. You lose your rights. Now, people think that they have human rights. Who created their human rights? It was corporations, courts, corporations, right? Businesses. And it all relates to the so-called person, the entity, the dead fiction, dead legal fiction. Examples. You don't have human rights, and I'll tell you why. They're stealing your freedom of speech, that's a human right. Freedom of expression, that's a human right. Opinion, human right. Right to private and family life, human right. But they're stealing it, they're taking it away from you. So what rights do you actually have? The man or woman has no rights. Not even the persons get rights. Because a legal system, legal society take it away from you. They determine when your legal rights for the legal person is breached. Right? Doesn't matter how many lawyers, liars, who's a Babylon, barristers that you use, they're all part of the fraud. When you use these people, you lose jurisdiction. Now, what is jurisdiction? Jurisdiction is control. When you walk into the so-called dock in a court or an administrative hearing, a corporate place of business, you give them jurisdiction, you give them consent, and they can do what they want with you. They can lock you up, they can give you fines, penalties, because you're a person. They don't hear, see, or recognise you when you're in there. Another prime example. That's why on the 9th of June, when I went to the corporate place of business, Glasgow Sheriff Court, I stood away from the dock, outside the dock, because I wasn't given jurisdiction or control, and I wasn't going to be bullied with their rules, regulations and policies of a corporation. Now, I don't understand why people contact myself and tell me they don't understand. The problem we have here, most people look at my TikTok account, like every TikTok account, and they're selective in what the content is that they look at. If you were to watch all the content in the channel, you might learn something. And as I say time and time again, everything I tell you can be verified under a charge of perjury. Any court jurisdiction in the lands of Scotland, England, Ireland or Wales, Court of Session, Supreme Court or beyond. There's no anybody that I'm aware of tell you that on a video. Everything for educational purposes. Well, this is not, anything I put in my video content is not for educational purposes. It's fact and can be verified as fact. It's not an opinion either. It's fact. Okay, people? So, for you people out there that don't get this, let me tell you something. And let me see if it sinks in. You are not a person. You can never be a person. And the reason for that, a person only exists in paper. It's a corporation. Right? And the other thing is, persons need permission. That's why you have to register for everything like a passport, a driving licence, a parking permit, register for a TV licence, because you need permission. Man or woman, living man or woman, does not need permission. They have an inalienable and inherent right, and they come into this world born free. The only thing that is tying the people, the men and women, to this system is the legal paperwork, the birth certificate, their document, their legal instrument that relates to person, entity, fiction, corporation, not the man or woman. They can never deal with a man or woman. They can only deal with a person, right? It's like in the statutory legislation, people, inhabitant, person, tenant, person, legal owner, person, right? Resident, person, Road Traffic Act, person, right? It's all a manipulation of words and language. When we interact with these tyrants, we stand or sit and have a conversation with them. The language they are using, the words sound the same, but it has a different meaning, a different context. It's not common land or common English, right? It's a foreign language. Legalese, dog, Latin, right? It's nothing to do with our common language that we, the man or woman, understand. So please, people, listen to what I'm telling you. I'm only doing this video. And the other thing I've decided to do, I'm going to put videos up more like intense to get information out there. I think my problem I have with TikTok is I'm leaving the videos too long in between gaps. So I need to up the game, and then people might pay attention. Because the information I put out there, people, is unique, right? Everything is done, tried and tested. First-hand knowledge, first-hand experience. We fight with a system for, no, not too far away for 14 years, right? And let me tell the people, I've given this system one hell of a battle. One man, right? And I've made a difference in my life because I've stood up and know who and what I am. I am not a person, entity or fiction. I am a living, breathing, flesh and blood man. And I'm not let anybody tell me otherwise. I've even got 2 letters for a doctor that was submitted on the 9th of June in the Glasgow Sheriff Court, corporate place of business. One, telling them that I was a living, breathing, flesh and blood man that had life, and another letter confirming that that letter was wrote on the debt. It was on the letter that was presented to the court. It cannot be rebutted because the man or woman acting capacity as a doctor knows the difference between life and death, right? The letters I got wasn't easy to get. I had to educate the man acting in capacity as doctor because he didn't have a clue what I was talking about. But when I sat and spent some time forcing the issue, then he understood. And that's why I got the 2 letters. Okay, people? I know what I'm talking about. I'm not a wet behind the ear idiot that doesn't know what I'm talking about. As I says time and time again, I don't need to do this, I don't need to do videos, right? I can protect myself, right? Because I've got the heart of a lion, and I'll fight like one if it comes, if you corner me, I'll come out and I'll fight that lion, right? I do this to educate the people, to give them hope, lose the fear, stand up for their rights, inalienable inherent rights, and protect their families and protect ourselves. How the people interpret this information that I give is down to them. I'm not responsible, but what I will say is, I've got no misinformation in these videos. Everything can be verified, right? I stand up and be counted, people. Anyway, for those people that sent me stupid messages saying that you don't understand, I've kind of broke it down in a short video. Hopefully you'll understand now. And if you don't, there is no hope for you people. Give up and take what's coming. This is no directed to the people that's woke up. This is no directed to the people that know what goes on. This is directed to the donkeys that's either taking the mickey or they're just sick, right? And I don't mean that disrespectful way, so let's put a different word. Idiots. People think when you call them an idiot, you're insulting them. You're not, because an idiot just doesn't understand. Okay? Anyway, people, please share this information far and wide. Get it out there. Help me get these numbers up so we can get people educated on a faster basis. I'm not happy with the amount of numbers I'm getting. I don't know why I don't know if it's TikTok, but the information I'm putting out there should be tens of thousands. And not because I've got a fund me or a PayPal, it's nothing to do with it. I don't have a fund me or a PayPal, and I don't ask you for nothing. Only your time you watch the videos and learn, pay attention. Anyway, again, please share this information far and wide. More information to come sooner rather than later, because I need to up the game on this to get the information out there so people start paying attention to somebody that knows what they're talking about. Use people, take care, be safe, and I'll speak soon. And for those people that's been messaging me, I hope now you understand in the basic terms what I've told you. If you don't, there's nothing more I can do. You'll have to ride the storm yourself and take what's coming. Speak soon, people. Bye-bye.